So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by heavyweight contender Hughie Fury. Hughie, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. We last saw you in the ring back in September now. A good win over Christian Tun. He certainly made it awkward for you, but you got the job done. What are your reflections now on that fight?
Yeah, it was just a year of just getting the cobwebs off, and then that's it really. Glad to get the ring rust off, and I'm looking forward to a big year this year.
And you're back on the 4th of April. Would you have liked to have got back out a bit sooner?
Uh, like I said, I would like to fight every day of the week if it was up to me, but the main thing is now, hopefully, I'll be getting regular fights.
How do you compare yourself now as a fighter compared to the Hughie Fury of 5 or 10 years ago when you were fighting some of the top fighters in the world at a very young age?
Yeah, I was fighting. To be honest with you, I've still had a boy's body and everything, and never even filled out. But I'm looking forward to now. Now I'll go back into me body and everything. So now all my health problems are solved. I'm just looking forward now to put a dent in the heavyweight division.
How do you think you've changed style wise?
Yeah, a lot. People hasn't seen a fraction yet, so I'm looking forward to this year putting it all on display.
What sort of things should we be looking out for?
Just have to wait and find out. But this year, I'm definitely making a statement, and I'm looking forward to it.
Is it a world level statement you're looking to make? You've already been British champion, of course.
Yeah, 100%. These I want big fights. I want these big names. So I'm just waiting for these opportunities to come my way now. Like I'd like the fight of the Dubois fight, the Joseph Parker fight, the Zhang. Who else? Hergovich. These are the fights what I want.
All right, we'll talk about those guys in a minute, but as I said, you're back on the big GBM show on the 4th of April. Any idea who might be in the opposite corner?
Won't have a clue.
What sort of test are you looking for, though?
Um, The main thing is, I just want to get active and whoever they can get in that short period of time. So, main thing is get this one out the way and then on to bigger and better. So, I'm not too sure who they got for me.
Now, you mentioned some of the fighters that are on the big show on Saturday night in Riyadh. I'm sure you'll have a keen eye on that one. Let's just talk about those two heavyweight fights. Zhilei Zhang, who you talked about just then, he's fighting Agit Kabayel. Am I right in thinking you've sparred Kabayel?
Yeah, it's bad, Kabayel.
Yeah. What was he like? I know it was a while ago.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, Kabayel is. It was a while ago, probably talking about 10, maybe 10 years ago. But yeah, he's a good fighter.
What do you make of the fight between him and Zhang? Kabayel, maybe a bit more of a mover, a bit more versatile, but Zhang,
Yeah,
big
I think
puncher.
Kavial will win that one because I think Zhang is a bit out of shape. I think movement and that seems to kill Zhang off.
Is that a fight you'd really relish then? Because your style, you can do more than one thing, but you are a very good mover.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like people's not seen a fraction of me, yeah, and this year is going to be a different. So I'm just waiting for the opportunity, and hopefully I get these fights.
And the other big heavyweight fight is the one for the IBF Heavyweight Championship on Saturday night. Daniel Dubois, who you talked about just there, well, you talked about both of them, him and Joseph Parker, who you fought, obviously, to a draw for that WBO title. God, it seems like forever ago now. Probably seems even longer for you.
It
What do
does.
you make of that fight?
It's a good fight, and I think if Joseph Parker stands his feet, he'll get knocked out. But I think if he boxes him, he stands a good chance.
Do you ever look back on that fight with regret? Because you were very young at the time. You nearly won the world title. Would that have been too soon for you, maybe?
Listen, everything happens for a reason, and I believe in God's got a plan. It just wasn't my time yet.
Do you even kind of recognize that fight back then? Like when you think back to the fight, do you see yourself now? Or are you so different now?
Completely different. Even if you look in shape-wise, body frame, everything's completely different.
We talked about Dubois there. How impressed have you been with him and his form recently? Jarrell Miller, then Hergovich, and then the demolition job on Joshua.
Yeah, he's done well. He's definitely knocking him down. But them fights, what he's been fighting, are perfect styles for him. It's like Joseph Parker's a different style altogether. The other
Mm.
guys was all big punches. What was standing there, so it suited him. So he's there. He's just bashing out. But I think yeah, I think where he's got to think more, Dubai. That's where I think he'll come undone.
Do you think it was a mistake potentially by his team to pick Parker because it's a voluntary defense? He didn't have to fight him.
Um, it could be. It could be with the movement and that. It could affect. But like I say, we'll soon find out.
And I talked about Joshua there, obviously on the wrong end of the result against Dubois. They're now talking about what he's going to do next. They were talking about him against Tyson. That's now not happening. Who would you like to see Joshua fight next? You might say yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I like these fights, and hopefully we can get them on.
Were you surprised by Dubois beating Joshua?
I was surprised because he made a lot of mistakes, Joshua, in that fight. A lot of mistakes. Not what you'd think you'd see from Joshua, but like I say, it's heavyweight boxing.
Do you think he can still come back stronger? Like when you watched the fight, did you see a fighter who was finished or just one who made mistakes on the night?
Um, Made a lot of mistakes. I don't understand why he didn't take the rematch because he was capable of beating Dubai, but obviously he didn't fancy it.
But you clearly would fancy a fight with Joshua. There's been times in the past where we've talked about it. Didn't seem like he had much to gain. He was kind of maybe avoiding your style as well. Do you think it's a fight that could happen now?
Yeah, 100%. I can't see why not. I don't think there's not many fights out there to be made, is there? So I think the availability for fights happening now just keep hopefully get some good wins under my belt, and we'll see.
And you'd have the opportunity, in theory, to end his career, I guess, because if he were to lose two on the spin, we might not see him in the ring anymore.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like to definitely be the final fight for sure.
Well, we'll wait and see. The consensus number one in the division at the moment is, of course, Oleksandr Usyk. What have you made of what he's been able to achieve coming up from cruiserweight?
Yeah, listen, he's done remarkable, hasn't he? You got to take hats off to Alexander Usyk. He's a godly man, and he's achieved great things.
And we've seen fighters try and outbox him on the back foot. We've seen people try and pressure him. We've seen people target his body. Is there kind of a key tactic or a key strategy you think that works against someone like Usyk?
See, everyone looks at Usyk and they look at one thing, oh, target the body, he's weak there. Usyk's a very clever man. He shows you what you like, different fights. He doesn't show you everything in every fight. He's a different man every time.
Is that similar to you? Because you said we've only seen a fraction of what you're capable of. Some of that's because you've had illness and injury, but is some of that because you do hold it back?
Like I say, I've not had my opportunities to fight yet, and I'm just looking forward to getting these fights in. And people will see a massive difference. It's okay talking, and you can say words 1,000 times, but I believe that actions speak louder than words, and hopefully, we won't have to wait too long.
You said earlier about God having a plan. Do you think you benefited from the fact that you did take on some of those real tough opponents early in your career? Because now you're still a relatively young heavyweight, but you've got all that experience in the bank.
Yeah, but people don't understand. I've had these fights with not a fraction of myself now. So I have got the experience behind me. I've got everything. So now it's just roll on and get the fights in.
And how are you health wise? I should ask. I mean, you looking great, Fettel.
Yeah, no, I'm unbelievable. I feel great, and I can't wait to get active this year. And yeah, I'm excited.
Has there been a positive side to kind of having the inactivity and that you've got to spend more time with your family, mature physically as well, as you said?
Yeah, like I say, God's got a plan, and it's all come at the right time, and I do believe it's the right time now. It's just a matter of time. I think I'm glad I got all the ring rust off last year. Had them fights what I needed to get the rounds in, and now this year's going to be a big year.
And how is the family? How many kids have you got now?
I've got no kids.
You've got no kids.
Got no kids.
Oh, I
That's
thought you
me.
were a good couple.
My brother's got a kid.
Ah, okay. I
Yeah,
did. Is it something you want in the future? You want a big family?
yeah. If possible, 12 kids.
Wow. You're leaving it a bit late,
Yeah.
and if you want 12, you're going to
I'm
be a busy
leaving it a
boy.
bit late. But listen, I'll have to get a young wife then.
Yeah, well, exactly. You'll have to stay busy. That's certainly true.
Yeah.
You're obviously trained by your dad, Peter, one of the more respected coaches here in the UK. How would you say that relationship's changed between the two of you as you've got older?
Yeah, listen, my dad's, I mean, relationship with my father's always been the same. I always go off every word my dad says, and I do believe he's one of the best trainers in the world.
Is it nice to see him getting that respect? Because obviously, when it was just you two, it was all based on what you did. But now he's trained other people. He's shown he can do it not just with his own son, but with other fighters too.
The thing is with my dad, if you listen to my dad and what he says, you'll go a long way. Anyone what's been under my dad's roof, they've all gone a long way. They've all improved. Even people in kickboxing, even people, anyone what's been under the roof, they've developed because my dad he's definitely a genius when it comes to this sport.
Do you think he gets the respect he deserves? Like when people are talking about the top trainers in the world, does he get mentioned enough?
I don't believe he does, but I think people know when they hear my dad speak, they listen. And he's not a man what says bullshit.
Hmm. Yeah, well, we know that. And Savannah Marshall in the gym as well. You've got kind of a brother-sister relationship with her. How's she been getting on? I know there was some issues with getting on a card recently, but generally doing well.
Yeah, Savannah's doing well. She seems in good spirits and that, and I think she's looking forward to getting back out there.
Do you prefer a busy gym with lots of other fighters to bounce off, or do you like to have that one-on-one attention?
Um, it doesn't bother me. I like obviously when there's loads of heavyweights and that for the sparring and stuff for their work. But as well, it doesn't mind me if it's just me and my dad.
Who would you say, because you just mentioned that about the sparring, who impressed you the most in sparring in your career?
I don't really take heat to sparring at all. Never take heat to it, and there's no one what's ever impressed me in sparring because sparring is a different. What you do in sparring, and you learn. That's it. You got to take it as a learning thing. I don't really take notice to people sparring. I'm thinking to myself, oh, they're good or whatever. It's a different kettle of fish when you jump in that ring.
How do you approach sparring? Do you go all out, or are you just there to get your moves in and to learn?
To learn, I relax and I got to do what my dad tells me to do. So I probably do something completely different every single time I spar because it's about learning. You don't do things you're good at, you do things you're not good at.
And just finally, because you mentioned earlier about only seeing a fraction of your ability, what would you say is the biggest or most impressive thing you've done in the gym that we haven't seen yet on the big stage?
You just have to wait and find out.
Fair enough. Mate, I really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you back in on the 4th of April and fingers crossed for a big 2025.
Perfect. Thank you very much and God bless you.
You too, mate. Take care. Bye bye.